Hi guys, so a few days ago Obsidian released an announcement trailer for their latest game, The Outer Worlds. If you watched my previous video, I looked at the similarities between The Outer Worlds and Fallout New Vegas, the game that Obsidian are most famous for. But today I wanted to take a look again at the trailer, but specifically at the final clip within the video. Basically, it features a disclaimer from one of the in-game companies, SPACER'S Choice. However, the disclaimer intentionally moves up and off the screen so fast you're unable to read it. So I decided to take a look a bit closer, stop the video and note down exactly what the disclaimer shows to see if it would tell us anything about the game, and as expected I was correct. Now, I'm not going to read out the whole disclaimer as it is quite long, but I will put it in the description of this video if you want to read it yourself. From the disclaimer I found 6 things I think are quite telling about the game. Now, just before we get onto these pieces of information, please remember to hit that subscribe button as I really appreciate it and you'll be helping me reach my goal of 1,000 subscribers. Right, so the first part of this disclaimer talks about how SPACER'S Choice is a wholly owned subsidiary of Universal Defense Logistics. So throughout the announcement trailer we see a lot of different companies we will be purchasing weapons, clothing, healing items, etc. from, and SPACER'S Choice is one of them. And I thought this quote was quite interesting as it mentions that SPACER'S Choice is just part of a much larger company, and perhaps it is these larger companies that will drive the plot. Maybe we'll uncover what they're really up to. As it mentions on Polygon, the backstory of the planets you ultimately discover were initially colonized by a number of different mega companies who actually purchased a star system in the depths of space and attempted to terraform the planets into habitable worlds. For some planets it worked, but others not so well. So moving on to the next interesting piece of information. The disclaimer states, "It is unsafe to view this advertisement while under the effects of Adrenatime." Now, I had a quick search to make sure Adrenatime wasn't a real thing, and it turns out it isn't. So I'm guessing this is a consumable that can be taken in-game that maybe slows down time. But basically what we can take from this is that there is a possibility that we will see a variety of different consumables that affect our character. Next we have, "This advertisement is not to be enjoyed, discussed or referenced on company time." Now, this may have just been added in for humour, but it might suggest that there is a darker side to these companies, that workers are giving no breaks, for example, they're not allowed to enjoy themselves, etc. I could be reading too much into it, but I think it is a possibility. SPACER'S Choice is not associated with Trucker's Choice. This statement just mentioned another company we didn't see in the trailer, but it seems SPACER'S Choice makes a big deal out of the fact that they don't want to be associated with other companies. So this next one I think is quite funny and gives us the names of 2 creatures in the game. 5 Canids, 2 Rapitdons and a genetically unidentifiable space organism were all harmed during the making of this advertisement. Now, if you watch the trailer back, you can see some of these creatures. Now, these dinosaur-looking creatures are called Rapitdons. This is confirmed in the gameplay Obsidian have released recently. Canids are also small fox-looking animals, and I guess that this green alien in the trailer is likely the unidentifiable organism. And finally, we have one more quote which again refers to the other companies and how we can expect to see some friction between them throughout the storyline. SPACER'S Choice is contractually obliged to state that Auntie Cleo products do not contain cyanide, cystypig gastric juices, mercury, sprat intestines, or human body parts, despite any previous claim made to the contrary by SPACER'S Choice. So basically, this is about how in the past SPACER'S Choice have made claims about Auntie Cleo, another company in the game, that may or may not be true. By the sounds of the statements, Auntie Cleo took legal action or something which has them contracted to mention this in their disclaimer. Anyway guys, that's about it for today's video. I hope you found this information interesting. As always, remember to subscribe and I shall see you in the next one. Okay, thanks guys. Bye.